Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum all of you. How are you all? Good, alhamdulillah. Me also good, alhamdulillah. Okay, beta, in our last three classes, we discussed about the first three parts of a speech. Isn't it? We discussed about the nouns, the pronouns, and the verbs. Now, let's give grammar a short break and let's go on with the text. So, today we will start our very first unit from our textbook vision. But before we start that, let me make sure that all of you must have your dictionaries with you. The very first thing. And the second thing, beta, again I repeat, until and unless we speak in English, we won't learn it. So try to speak in English. I understand that you people are at home, but even then, try to give some time and try to speak in English as much as you can. Okay, beta, let's start. Now here I have got some pictures for you. Look at them. The first one, a black cat crossing the road. Second one, 13th, the Friday. Third one, a broken mirror. And the fourth one, a four-leaf clover. Okay, beta. So now, can you guess the idea behind these pictures? Do you have any idea what do these pictures depict to show? Yes, I think so that most of you must have got it from the very first one, a black cat crossing the road. A very common one. Yes, correct. These pictures are related to superstitious beliefs. Superstition. Yes. Okay, let's move forward. I have got a question for you. What do you mean by the word superstition? Now, beta, pause the video here and write the answers. Write the answer to this question, your own view, whatever comes to your mind when you hear this word superstition. Write it down and do not forget to submit it with your homeworks. And again, I repeat, beta, be punctual, do your homeworks on time. Okay, do it. Okay, mind one. The superstition is any belief or practice based upon one's trust in luck or other irrational. Irrational means no logic behind. Unscientific, without any scientific logic, or supernatural forces means the magics and all. Now, superstition is actually related to such kind of beliefs, the people who believe in magic and all. Okay, beta. I have got some more questions for you. Do you believe in superstition? List down some of the very common superstitions practiced around the world. Should we as Muslims believe in superstition? Now again, pause the video, write your own views as the answers to these questions. After that, I'll discuss mine with you. Okay, do them. Okay, let's start. Okay, do you believe in superstition? When this question comes to me, my answer is a big no, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I'm not a superstitious woman. I do not believe in superstition. I only believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. Okay, the next one. List down some of the very common superstitions practiced around the world. So here you may have a look. I don't know what you must have written. You may have a look over some of the very common of superstitions practiced around the world. And then the third one. Should we as Muslims believe in superstition? No, beta, we should not. We should only believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for each and everything. Okay, we should know that only and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all the powers to control each and everything. No power beside Allah has control over anything. So when we start believing in powers other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know what we are doing? We are doing shirk, associating partners with Allah, and that is committing a sin. So we should never do it. Okay, beta? Okay. Now, Islamic view. The view of Islam on superstition. Islam does not acknowledge the concept of superstition. That's what I told you, that our Islamic values do not allow us to believe in any such kind of belief. Okay, beta. The Prophet ﷺ said, there is no such thing as superstition. Islam condemns such behavior. So, as a good Muslim, we should never believe in such kind of beliefs. Okay. Now let's go on with our very first unit, superstition, and with the very first chapter of our first unit, behind the broken mirror. Okay, beta, now do one thing. First of all, let give you some of the new words that you will encounter while going through the chapter, The Broken Mirror. So here is the list: envision, enormous, dangling, fascinated, disastrous, gleaming, doomed, interjected, shirk, mishaps, ritual, crucified, smacked, incredulous, exasperated, credence, petrified, etc. So here is the list of some of the new words. Now beta, do one thing: pause the video and try to find the meaning to these words. You may take the help of your dictionaries, write your meanings, then I'll discuss mine with you. Okay beta? Okay, let's start with mine. So let's go on with the very first one, that is envision. To visualize means to imagine as a future possibility, something to imagine something that may possibly be happen in future, to visualize. Okay, the next one is enormous. Enormous, you must have heard, very large. Now this large may be in any way, size, quantity or extent, anything. Dangling. Okay, have you ever heard this word, to dangle, to hang or to swing? So dangling means what? Hanging loosely. Fascinated, fascinated by someone or something, means what? Is strongly attracted, strongly attracted. Disastrous, with the word it's clear, of great disaster, means causing great damage. Gleaming, shining. Doomed, ill-fated, means we often say unlucky. That's what doomed is, to have an unfortunate outcome. Interjected, to interrupt in between. Yes, we often say do not interrupt in between, means do not speak in between. Yes, so this is what, to interrupt. Shirk, I just now told you, associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mishaps, unlucky accidentally. Ritual, have you ever heard the word riwayat in Urdu? Yes, this is what, ritual. A series of actions performed religiously according to a prescribed order. So rituals are actually related to religion. Crucified, put to death by nailing or binding to a cross. Okay beta, do you know the belief, the story of Christians behind Isa alayhi salam? Yes, Isa alayhi salam, they call Jesus. They believe that he was crucified on Friday the 13th. That's why they regard Friday the 13th as an unlucky day, and that is totally wrong concept. Okay, smacked, to smile in a silly way, to give a silly smile. Incredulous, unwilling to believe something. Unwilling means unwanting, so unwanting to believe something. Exasperated, intensely irritated or frustrated. Okay, credence, believe in something as true, to believe something as true. Petrified, terrified, means what? Very frightened. Okay beta, so these were the words. Now open your books and open the very first chapter, Behind the Broken Mirror. Pause the video, read the first two paragraphs of your first chapter, Behind the Broken Mirror, silently. Then I'll read them out for you. Till then, read them silently. Okay, shall I start? Okay. Whenever I recall Salma auntie, I envision a splash of bright fabric, mostly red or orange, with enormous flowers printed on it. She had large black hair worn on top of her head in a bun with sparkling, dazzling bangles dangling from her ample wrist. Whenever she walked by, a swish of scented air graced the nose of those near her. I was so fascinated by her when I was small, her bright dresses of the latest fashion, matching accessories, and the stories she could tell. I was convinced back then that if I didn't read my horoscope first thing in the morning, like Salma auntie religiously did, I would face a disastrous day. Of course, Abid, my older and wiser brother, was the voice of reason, who always led me back to reality. Salma auntie, however, was another story. Once, when mother was in the bedroom getting ready for my cousin's Safia's wedding, there was a loud crash. We all rushed up the gleaming white, winding staircase in the center of our house to mother's room, the third door on the left. There we were stunned by the sight of thousands, no, millions of small glittering pieces of what seemed to be diamonds with mother in their center. Okay, beta, now I have got some questions based on these two paragraphs. So let's do them. The first one, whom was the writer recalling? The second one, why was the writer so fascinated by Salma auntie? What was the first thing Salma auntie used to do in the morning? And the fourth one, what made them rush up while the writer and her mother were getting ready for the wedding? Now here, whom was the writer recalling? Now beta, do one thing again. Pause the video and write the answers to these questions. Then I'll discuss mine with you. Okay? And again I repeat, do not forget to submit them with your homeworks and be punctual with your homeworks. Okay, let me start. Whom was the writer recalling? Whom was she recalling? Salma auntie, isn't it? Yes. Why was the writer so fascinated by Salma auntie? The writer was so fascinated by Salma auntie because of her looks, because she was a very fashionable lady and she always used to wear the latest fashion clothes of bright colors. Yes, that's why, and also because of the stories, this interesting stories she used to tell. Yes. What was the first thing Salma auntie used to do in the morning? The first thing Salma auntie did in the morning was to read her horoscope. Is it yes? And this also tells us that about one thing about Salma auntie, that this means that she was a very superstitious lady, isn't it? Yes. What made them rush up while the writer and her mother were getting ready for the wedding? What was the thing? Beta, while the writer and her mother were getting ready for the wedding, they heard a loud crash noise, isn't it? And this loud crash noise actually made them rush up, isn't it? Okay, beta, with this we come to an end of today's class. Again, I repeat, be punctual, complete and submit your homework on time. Let's meet in the next class, inshallah. Jazakallah. Stay safe. Take care. Allah Hafiz.